Welcome back, guys, to Roost Studios 1.2.9G Tekkit Let's Play series. This is episode 30. In the previous episode, I put together a couple of sawmills in a row, but I found that the level emitters was blocking not only the one it was pointing at, but also the ones beside it. It's to do with the redstone power powering the block, which in turn affects this block beside it. So I had to break them up a little bit and just move them into a cube or a square like this, similar to my induction smelters over here, and just power them a different way and just run the buses in a manner so they're all separate. So now that it's all working, I'm getting all the wood from the different types of wood burning and all the levels working fine. So basically I just changed the configuration a little bit, and I have the export buses on this side, the import buses at the back again, and just stacked it a little bit higher. I just wanted to show you how it was set up. So the input buses are on the the export buses are on the outside there, and the input buses are on the back, and just all the cables are joined together. The level emitters based on the inside pointing to each machine. Okay, so from my last video, I did mention that I had to have a look at the power issue with the level emitters, and I found that it was causing a bit of an issue for me. Other than that, everything's the same. Still have the level emitters at 2000, and everything's filtered out, so it's all working great. Next video you see, I'll have all that covered up and dressed up and looking pretty. Off-camera work. I've done a little bit of off-camera work. Up here I've made a tunnel. Down there will be the quarry. So I've made a path down there and a platform down there that I can start building the quarry. In here, I haven't done a whole lot in here. I've cleared this up out a little bit because this will be where our crafting CPU goes, just over here somewhere. I've raised the wall a little bit. I'm going to do a bit of work on some carpenter's blocks mod pack, so you can see how all that works. There's a little room in here that I'm going to do. This will be warp doors tutorial in here when we start going up to the moon and our space station and Mars and bits and pieces. We'll put warp doors to all those locations, so we don't have to worry about blasting off in a rocket every time we want to go there. What else? Oh, outside I've built in our reactor, made a room of its own, made a stairway to the top so we can go up there and adjust our control rods if we need to. So our control rods are up here. We can turn those up or down to increase or decrease the efficiency and the temperature of our reactor. I usually leave them going full bore anyway, and we need to because we need the cyanite. That'll all get closed off eventually. These will all be removed. I'm just using these to make use of the power that's these things generating. Okay, the ME cable down here is heading off to our quarry platform. Okay, that's part of our setup. You'll see that in the tutorial later on. Down here is the location for our first turbine. Okay, and I think we're just about ready to do that. I think I have enough cyanite now to finish off the build. In here is where the laser drill is going to go. Now I deliberately left this half unbuilt because I wanted to show you what I do to dress this up and make it look really good and light the place up. I think you'll like that one. Okay, and that's about it really. I think that's all I have. So I've done a bit. I'm preparing a fair few things for future tutorials, but on this tutorial we are going to build our turbine. We're going to get it finished. I have enough cyanide now. While I've been doing all that preparation work, the machine's been busily making our cyanide for us, and 213, gee, we could almost make a second turbine out of that. I'll have to have a look. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through our turbine items and look at what we have. So we've got turbine casings, I'm sure. 636, yes. So what we need to have is turbine glass. So we need glass and a turbine casing. Okay, so we need 5.5 stacks of turbine glass. for my build. I'm not going to have enough glass by the look of it. No, 1, 2, yep. Time to get some sand happening. There we go, that'll be enough for us. What else do we need? I'll let that go for now. What else do we need to build? We need a turbine controller. Did I make one of those? I don't think I did. So we need casings, plutonium and a diamond. Righto. Let me just turn that rain off, it's going to kind of noisy. So there's our plutonium. And our diamond. Yeah, our diamond numbers are growing rather nicely. That's from the laser drills, so it's looking pretty good. So there's our turbine controller. We also need a turbine power port. So that's turbine casings and redstone. Redstone, there it is. I think we need 4 of these. I'll run with 4 for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm not sure the turbine takes 4. I haven't done a lot of testing on that yet. I have to do some testing and figure out the numbers on that. But I've listened on other YouTube videos that you may only need 3 would be enough to give you all the power you need. But I have run 4 and it works fine, so I'll just stick with that. So we need some fluid ports. 2 of those. So piston, iron and a bucket. 1, 2. We need a turbine rotor bearing. Definitely one of those. We need rotor shafts. That's okay. No, we can make some rotor shafts. They're fairly easy, so let's clear that. Pull our iron out again. We have that there and that there. I did say we needed 12 rotor shafts. Well, we need 14 because 2 for this one and then 12 for the shaft in the turbine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's put that there for now. So there and there. Okay, that's our turbine rotor shaft. Clear that. Now I don't need a computer port. We need the glass, but we're getting to that. We got casings. We got all the rest of that. I haven't played with the computer port. I might play with it a little bit later on, but I usually run these things at full power because of the laser drills. So we've got our turbine rotor shafts. We just made 12 of them. So what we're after now is the rotor blades. We need 80 of those. So let's just put those into the recipe mix. They're it's a pretty straightforward build. So 1 there, and some iron, and we need 1 stack, and I think 16. There we go. And the last thing we need, we go back to our turbine glass. Let me just get some of the stuff out of this. Empty some of our items out of here. Don't need that. Floodgate. I'm going to do a flood. I've started collecting milk. I'll explain that a little bit later on. I'm going to make a milk lake. That lake out in the centre there. I've drained that out, and I'm going to fill it with milk just because I can. I know it's funny, but yeah, what the hey. Sick of looking at water. Let's have a look at a milk for change. That go in there for now. Okay, now we want our turbine glass. So we need one there and there, and our casings. Now, how many do we have already? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6 will do. It's not going to go to waste, and let's just grab the rest of these. 2, 3 and a half. That should do it. Okay. So we're going to go down here and we'll build our turbine. And then we can start powering everything. Like I said, we may have enough to build more. I'll only do this once. The rest of them I'll build off camera so you can see what I'm doing. The last thing you want is to be bored with me building massive builds like this. So all we do first is I've set this room up so there's a 3 wide walkway all the way around the turbine. So basically go 1, 2, 3. That's the corner, and we need to go 9 by 14. Now this is the biggest turbine that you can make. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are other shapes you can do it in, but 80 blades is the biggest you can go because the maximum output of these turbines is 2,000 millibuckets I don't think it can. The only maximum it can take in is 2,000 millibuckets of steam. This is the biggest you can go. So if you go any more than 80 blades, and the numbers basically state that each blade of a turbine can handle 25 millibuckets of steam as its most efficient means of working. So if you divide however many millibuckets you want coming out of of steam producing, that'll give you your maximum efficiency for how big your turbine needs to be. So what's that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, so it's a pretty big turbine this, but it puts out a heap of power. All right, so that's about all the turbine casings we need. So we've got a fair few left over, which I'm pretty impressed with. That I thought we needed 3.5. I must only be like 3 or 2.5 or something, which is good. So the top here is just going to fill this top with glass now, and I'll jump back down and start building. I tend to come up here, do everything up here at once, so I only have to come up here. I don't have to come up here again. You don't need to do much more work on the roof once you've got it all set up. Mind you, power's here. What I might actually do is, rather than put it on the side, I might put the power port, the individual power port, just here. Okay, put one of them just there, because that's going up to the roof, and it might be easier because that's the top of the that's the power room in there. That's our basement. So I just put it there, go straight up there, and we can start powering everything. It's probably a smarter move. Saving a few energy conduits. Okay, and that's all I need to worry about up here. So I'm going to jump down now, break an ankle, and I'll get the rest of these casings put down. Okay, now usually I put my controller right where the door is, so the controller can go right there. So controller there. So then more turbine glass. Now the other power taps, I run the 3 of them next to the door where the laser drills are. Now I always put laser drills down with a turbine because there's so much power coming out of these. You may as well use it all up into the laser drills, which gets you stacks and stacks and stacks of ore and stuff. So what will happen is I'll run a power conduit down into the floor there, and I'll go straight through and power the 3 lasers in there, or 4 lasers in there. Okay, so now I just build this up. The other thing I need that I haven't built yet, that's going to be a pain, is Endirium blocks. I can use other blocks, but Endirium Blokes makes me gives me the most amount of power. So I'm going to I'll finish building this casing so you can see how it's all built. You don't have to use glass. You can use turbine casings and just block it as a turbine as a big wall. But I like to do it this way so you can see the thing working. Just a bit of game motion. That's all. A lot of people don't worry about it, but I'm a big fan of seeing things work. It's the back wall. Do I need anything on this side? No, I don't think I do. Ports? Nope, it's all good. Alright, so now into the last side here. I tend to leave one side open. I'll just leave it open here, I think. Controller there. What have I got left? The turbine rotor bearing and the turbine fluid ports. I have to make some tesseracts too. So there's a little bit more things to make. So that's 2, 3. Now the turbine rotor bearing has to be in the center at one end. So it's 1, 2, 3 there. So 3 across, because it's 7 by 7. It goes into the 4th spot, which is the middle. The fluid imports I like to put in here. Now you may not need 2 fluid imports. I like to keep my tesseract separate. I may test it with just one tesseract and actually have send and receive fluids and see if the steam will come through, will come into the machine as well as return water as well. It's the only way. Tesseracts are the only way to keep water back to your turbine. Oop, that was a bit of a fail, wasn't it? We get back to your turbine because you cannot keep up the water flow to your reactor if you just use the steam all the time. These things are just so massive and they suck the water like you would not believe. So tesseracts return the majority of the water back to the system and keep the turbines running. So what I might do is I'll make one tesseract here and I'll see if I can get send and receive fluids and see if it actually works. If it doesn't, I'll have a second one there. So turbine rotor shaft. Now they've got the outside built all through here. We now make a turbine rotor shaft. Oh, wrong way. And it goes from the bearing all the way to the end. That's why we need 12. And is that 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11. Have I missed something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, bear with me. I mucked up. I've made the thing too small. Let me just fix that. I'll be right back. Okay, that's better. Now it's 12. Now it's 12. So it's probably 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14. Okay, and there. So now we have a shaft going all the way through. What I usually do now is I'll build the Endirium blocks as a coil on this back shaft. So I'm going to stop there. It's 23 minutes, so I'll stop there, and on part 2 of the tutorial we'll get this thing finished. I'll build up my Endirium blocks and I'll show you how to make some tesseracts, and we'll get this thing finished and underway. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please like, subscribe and share. It helps me out. If you want any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you. So in the meantime, enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next tutorial. Bye for now.